2 months ago, I did something my friends called insane. I bought a one-way ticket to Manila with just $100 in my pocket and a challenge. Survive 21 days living exactly like an ordinary Filipino worker, no credit cards, no safety net, no backup plan. I'd sleep where they sleep, eat what they eat, work the jobs they work. Everyone said I'd quit after 3 days, but what happened in those 3 weeks completely shattered everything I thought I knew about poverty, wealth, and happiness. If you want to see how this completely changed my life, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. What happens next will blow your mind. I didn't go to the tourist areas. I went straight to Tondo, one of Manila's most densely populated neighborhoods. Narrow alleyways, homes stacked on top of each other, kids playing in streets barely wide enough for a tricycle. I found a small room, 8 square meters, about the size of a parking space. Rent was 2,500 pesos a month, roughly $45. Thin plywood walls, shared bathroom, no AC, just a dying electric fan. That first night, lying on a thin mattress, sweating, listening to crying babies and someone's karaoke session, I thought, what have I done? Then someone knocked. My neighbor, Ate Rosa, handed me a plate of rice and fried fish. Kumain ka na? Have you eaten? I tried to refuse. She insisted. Later I learned this is the Filipino way. The first question isn't how are you? It's have you eaten? Because making sure you're fed is how they show love. That simple gesture was the first crack in everything I thought I knew about poverty. Day 2, I needed income. I found work as a construction laborer. The pay? 400 pesos a day, about $7, for 10 hours under the brutal sun. By noon on my first day, my hands were blistered. My back was screaming. I understood why the other workers looked exhausted. But during lunch, sitting in whatever shade we could find, eating rice and canned sardines, the guys were laughing, cracking jokes. One guy, Mang Ernie, was doing impressions that had everyone in tears. I asked him, "How do you do this every day?" He shrugged. "Walang choice, eh? But at least we do it together." For 2 weeks I lived their life. Wake at 5 a.m., work until 4 p.m., come home exhausted, eat whatever cheap food I could afford, usually rice with egg, instant noodles, or street food like fish balls. My body ached constantly. My hands were rough and calloused. I lost weight. I understood what it meant to be bone-tired. But something else was happening. The construction crew started treating me like family. They shared food even when they barely had enough. When I got sick, they pooled money for my medicine. One evening at a small eatery, we ordered the cheapest meal: rice and a small piece of chicken to share. As we ate, I looked around. The place was packed with workers, families, students. Everyone eating simple food, but the room was alive with laughter and conversation. And it hit me. Back home, I used to eat alone in expensive restaurants, scrolling through my phone, completely isolated. Here, I was eating the cheapest meal possible, but surrounded by genuine connection. Which person was really richer? As days passed, I became part of the neighborhood. Kids started calling me Kuya. The tricycle drivers knew my route. The store owner would sometimes give me extra rice, whispering, "Dag na lang," just extra. I noticed patterns everywhere. Someone always swept the common areas without being asked. When a roof leaked, neighbors showed up with materials to help. When anyone had a celebration, the whole street was invited. This wasn't just neighborliness. This was survival through solidarity. Then came a storm. Heavy rain flooded our area. Water rose to knee level. Our rooms leaked everywhere. I was panicking, trying to save my things, when I heard shouting. The neighbors were organizing. Some helped elderly people to higher ground. Others moved valuables. Someone cooked rice to share because power was out. Mang Tony, a tricycle driver, waded through water, bringing people to safety. Trip after trip, refusing payment. When I asked why, he said, "Pare, when my wife was in the hospital last year, these same people helped me. This is just giving back." That night, 15 of us crowded into the only house on higher ground. Little food, no electricity, worried about our homes, but someone started playing guitar. Someone sang. Kids played cards by candlelight. I sat there, wet and uncomfortable, and felt something I hadn't felt in years. I belonged. I got close to a family, Tatay Ben, Nanay Linda, and their 3 kids. Tatay's jeepney broke down, and he couldn't afford repairs. Without it, no income. I watched them stretch 1 chicken into 3 meals. I saw Nanay Linda skip eating so the kids had enough. But every night, no matter how hard the day was, they ate dinner together, prayed together, laughed at TV shows on their tiny screen. The youngest daughter, Angel, drew me a picture. Stick figures holding hands under a rainbow, Salamat Kuya. I asked Tatay Ben, "How do you stay positive?" He looked at his family. "You see them? That's why. As long as we're together, we're already winning." By day 18, guilt was eating me alive. These people trusted me, and I was lying. One evening, I told Mang Ernie everything. Who I really was, why I came, the experiment. I braced for anger. Instead, he laughed. "I know, Pere." "You knew?" "Of course. Your hands on the first day? Too soft. But you stayed. You worked. You became one of us. That's what matters." That weekend, I confessed to everyone at a neighborhood gathering. The silence felt eternal. Then Ate Rosa asked, "So what did you learn?" I took a deep breath. "I learned that I was the poor one. You have something I've been searching for my whole life. You have each other. You have joy that doesn't depend on money. I came thinking I'd see poverty, but I found richness I never knew existed." Mang Tony stood up. "You didn't pretend to be poor. You just stopped pretending to be rich, and that's when you became real." Those words hit me like a freight train. My final 3 days, I stopped documenting. I just lived. I played basketball with kids, helped cook, joined evening hangouts where we'd just sit outside, talk about nothing and everything, and watch the neighborhood come alive. On my last night, they threw me a despedida party. They pooled money for food, karaoke, dances, stories. Tatay Ben stood up. "You came to understand us, but you became us. You'll always be family." I tried not to cry. I failed. Let me tell you what I learned in 21 days. Poverty isn't what I thought. Yes, there's struggle. But poverty isn't the absence of money. It's the absence of choice and dignity. And these people had more dignity than many wealthy people I knew. Happiness isn't about what you have. It's about what you share. My happiest moments weren't in expensive places. They were eating fish balls on a street corner with friends, playing with kids in an alley, singing terrible karaoke in someone's tiny home. Community is everything. We've lost this in the developed world. We live in big houses but don't know our neighbors. We have thousands of online friends but no one to call at 2 a.m. In Tondo, I had less space but more connection than I'd ever experienced. The real poverty is spiritual. I came with money but empty inside. I left with empty pockets but a full heart. When I departed, the street was lined with people, kids crying, adults giving gifts, nothing expensive, just meaningful. A rosary from Ate Rosa, a bracelet from Angel, a cap from Mang Ernie. As the taxi pulled away, I looked back at them waving. I came to learn about poverty. I learned about wealth. Real wealth. Here's my challenge to you. Wherever you are, whatever you have, ask yourself, are you living or just existing? Are you building relationships or just bank accounts? Are you part of a community or isolated in comfort? Talk to your neighbors. Share a meal with someone struggling. Put down your phone and have a real conversation. Connect. Give, not money, but time and presence. Because the poorest people taught me the richest lessons. And the greatest wealth isn't what you accumulate. It's what you give, who you love, and the lives you touch. The Philippines taught me that. And I'll spend the rest of my life trying to live up to that lesson. If this story moved you, Hit that like button and subscribe. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And tell me in the comments, what does real wealth mean to you? The richest people aren't those who have the most. They're those who need the least and give the most salamat. And see you in the next video.